FIFA criticized after clearing women's football coach of sexual harassment. The International Players Union FIFPro has said the decision of the adjudicatory chamber of the FIFA Ethics Committee to not sanction an Argentinian women's football coach accused of sexual harassment and abusive behavior raises extremely serious questions about how professional football keeps players safe. 5 female players had given evidence to FIFA accusing Diego Alberto Guachi, who is technical director of the under-17 and under-15 Argentinian women's national teams, a FIFA instructor for women's football and FIFA technical expert and mentor, of verbal abuse and sexual harassment carried out over a number of years. A FIFPro statement said. The players were extremely brave to challenge the coach's conduct and contribute towards making football a safer and more inclusive environment for their peers. The decision by the FIFA Ethics Committee raises questions about how much evidence is needed for disciplinary action and will deter other players from standing up against the perpetrators of harassment and abuse. The union has also raised concerns about the lack of gender diversity in the adjudicatory chamber and of the length of investigation, which began in 2020. It criticized the decision to publish the outcome before the players or their representatives at FIFPro had been provided with a copy of the decision, despite this being raised by the union as critical in any procedure which involves victims and whistleblowers. Not providing warning made it impossible for FIFPro to properly prepare the players for this deeply distressing decision that may significantly impact their well-being and careers, it said. FIFA's investigatory chamber had concluded in its final report that Guachi had violated a number of FIFA Code of Ethics articles, including failing to protect, respect and safeguard the integrity and personal dignity of others, making use of offensive gestures and language in order to insult, isolate, ostracize players generally and individually, having engaged in acts leading to mental abuse, as well as for making use of hostile acts intended to isolate, ostracize players generally and individually, and having sexually harassed a player by presenting her with unwanted and unsolicited images with pornographic content and by requesting her pictures of her intimate parts. However, the adjudicatory chamber concluded that the evidence on file is insufficient to corroborate, to its comfortable satisfaction, the players' account of the events and said that conducts have not been supported by any material evidence apart from the players' testimonies. Guachi has consistently denied wrongdoing, and when approached by The Guardian, he said he was unable to comment because he was bound by confidentiality. FIFPro said it hoped the chief of the FIFA Ethics Committee's investigatory chamber would appeal against the decision, given it had rightly advised that the coach had violated safeguarding and sexual harassment regulations. It said. This is particularly important since neither the players nor FIFPro have, according to the rules and jurisprudence currently in place, a right to appeal the decision. FIFPro will continue to support all football players who courageously speak out against abuse, harassment and discrimination. FIFA said in a statement. FIFA's position is clear. Anyone found guilty of misconduct and abuse in football shall be brought to justice, sanctioned and removed from the game. In line with the above, FIFA takes any allegation reported to it very seriously. Therefore, FIFA encourages anyone who is aware of abuse or unethical behavior in connection to football matters to immediately report it through our confidential whistleblowing hotline BKMS. In relation to the case of Mr. Guachi, FIFA's Ethics Committee followed the due process indicated in the FIFA Code of Ethics.